So before we actually start solving physics problems, I want to talk about how to solve a physics problem. I know this might seem kind of silly to some of you, but I swear it helps. And I have been doing this about longer than you have. Okay. So just take my word for it. And it only takes a couple more seconds, maybe a minute tops for each problem to do all of these steps. Okay. And I guarantee you it'll help. Okay, so the first step is number one, calm down. It's just a physics problem. Okay, we get so amped up about some of this stuff because we think physics is so hard, but just stay calm. It's okay. It's going to be fine. Number two is we want to read through the problem once before writing anything down. This is the rule that I break a lot. I know it's bad, but I start writing stuff down as I'm reading the problem. It is nice to get your bearings and read through the problem once before you write anything down, so you just know what's going on. Okay. Number three, you want to decide where your coordinate system is. Now, what I mean by this is we want to ask ourselves, okay, which direction is positive? A lot of the time we just say, okay, forward is positive if they don't say that the car is going north or something like that. But we do need to establish that because we know that positives and negatives mean direction in physics. We talked about vectors, right? Those positives and negatives, for the most part, not every single time, but for the most part, they mean direction. So we need to decide what direction is positive. We also need to decide where x equals 0 or y equals 0 or z equals 0, but usually it's just x and y. But we need to see where those things are. Usually we'll say like y equals 0 at the ground, right? Or we'll say x equals 0 where the car starts. So it's not something that's like groundbreaking, but it's something that you want to think about. Number four, you want to draw a picture. Now, of course, doesn't apply to every single situation, but it will help a lot of the time. And you'll see that once we move into Newton's laws, I am going to want you to draw a picture every single time. And we call those free body diagrams for Newton's laws. Number five, you want to write down your given quantities. A lot of people just want to start plugging in numbers right away. They don't write anything down. I want you to write down your given quantities. And what I mean by this is like your initial velocity equals this, your initial position equals this, the time equals this, acceleration equals this. I want you to write those things down, okay? Number six, you also want to ask yourself, what am I solving for? So not only are you writing down your givens, you're also writing down what you're actually solving for. So if they're asking for final velocity, you write down final velocity equals question mark next to it, because that will tell you which equation you want to pick. You want to pick one of them that has final velocity in it, right? Duh. Also, I say, especially for constant acceleration problems, ask yourself, what do they not give me in this problem? You don't want to pick an equation that has something that they don't give you. Number seven, pick the right equation. It's a really good step. Yeah, it can be helpful. And write that down as well. Number eight, you want to solve the equation for your unknown variable, and I mean solve it algebraically. Now, I know that sometimes it's easier to just plug in numbers and just solve. But the AP test actually really likes when you manipulate variables algebraically. So I want you guys to practice this. I want you to practice solving the equation in variable form before you actually plug in the numbers, okay? And then nine, plug in your numbers correctly. And then number 10, I want you to put a box or underline your answer, and for the love of anything, everything, don't forget your units, please, okay?